Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my Crafty Corner. So today I'm going to be showing you a technique that's really useful for stamping inside of an image. So if you have an image that you want to stamp inside of, this may be a technique for you to try, and it's really easy and simple. I'll show you how. So to start with, I'm going to be using the Baby Zeus stamp set, and I'm going to be using this beautiful elephant here. I'm going to be using both of the layers, but to start with I'll be using the solid. And I'll be stamping this image onto a piece of masking paper. You don't have to use masking paper if you don't have it or you don't want to. You could use a piece of normal paper and then just add a little bit of removable adhesive on the back of it. So I'm going to be stamping this a little bit differently. This is going to make it easier for cutting out with my scissors. So I'm stamping the top part of the elephant at the bottom of my sheet, and then I'm going to stamp the elephant again at the top. It doesn't matter what colour ink that you use for this, I'm just using the same ink that I'm going to be using for the elephant. I don't think it makes any difference at all in the way that the mask works, so just whatever ink that you have on hand, this will do. So as you can see, I've added the bottom half of the elephant to the top and the top half to the bottom. So this means I'm going to be able to cut the images out a lot easier than I would if I had stamped it in the middle and then I've had to poke a hole in the center of the elephant and then tried to cut around it. As you can see, I'm just trimming it to size a little bit because I do want some of that masking paper around the edge, because we're going to be using the outside mask of this and not the inside. So this is a little bit different, and as you can see, I'm just using my scissors and not the die because I wanted to get right up to the sides or the edges even of that elephant. So it does take a little bit of time, but I think in the end it is worth it, and you can use it again and again if you're a little bit more careful with yours than I am with mine, and you'll see that later on. I did rip it. So I'm just cutting it around. I'm cutting around his legs, his little tail, and because I've stamped it in two pieces, this is much easier to get into the little pieces than it would have been if I'd have tried to do it all at once, because you don't want to cut into the outside edge. So it's a little bit different, and as you can see, when I pop them two pieces together, I do have my elephant, so he's quite happy right there in two pieces. I'm then going to stamp my elephant again. This is onto my card front. So I'm just going to use my Misty just to get him in place, just in case I didn't add the ink properly. But thankfully I did this time, which is quite good for me. So this is the Volcano Lake. No, I'm lying, sorry. It's the Mountain Mist. I'm using the Mountain Mist for this one. And this is the lightest of like the tealy, aquary, turquoise tones, and it's one of my favorites. I use it again and again, so I'm really sorry. But I've stamped him down and he's nicely in position, and now I'm going to add my mask around him. So I would use masking paper, so I have to remove the backing. If you did just use a normal piece of paper, copy of paper or anything like that, you would just need to add a little bit of adhesive behind and then add the mask around the elephant. So as you can see, because it's in two pieces, it's a lot easier just to line it up around him and make sure he's all covered around the edges like a little blanket. So as you can see, I'm just popping it around the trunk first because that was the fiddliest bit. Make sure it's all in the nooks and crannies and it lines up perfectly. So these two pieces really did work out well, and I'm just smoothing that whole piece down so I've got no gaps around the edges of the elephant. I just wanted to add a little bit of shadow to the bottom of him to make him a little more dimensional. So I'm now using Volcano Lake with a little finger dauber and just adding a little bit of a shadow around his bottom edge. So once that is complete, I'm then going to move on to some stamping. I'm going to be using the mini hello, and firstly I'm going to be using the flowers out of it. So I'm stamping this in Pinkalicious. This is just the flower out of the set, and I'm just stamping wherever I want to. I'm trying to keep inside the elephant. I don't want to overlap the flowers that are in the inside. I'm not really worried about the flowers looking when they're on the masking paper because we're going to get rid of that, so it's okay, it's all good. So I'm just making sure that I don't have a lot of space, and I'm just adding that all in, and it looks very pretty already. I'm then going to take the Volcano Lake again, and I'm taking one of the leaf images from the mini hello again. As you can see, I've gone over that flower over there, but that's on the masking paper, so whatever mess you make on the masking paper, it doesn't matter. It's going to look really pretty anyway. Just as long as you don't make a mess on the inside of the elephant, everything is good. So I'm just going to stamp this a number of times, and I'm trying to fill in as many gaps as I can. I'm not going to worry about filling in all of the gaps because it's still going to look really pretty, but I'm just trying to add the leaves in as much as I can so I don't have a lot of gappiness. So I'm going to keep working around and around until it's all complete. And just adding little tiny bits of leaves to the edges really makes the edge stand out more as well. Once I've added the leaves, I'm going to add in the center of the flower. Again, this comes in the mini Hello stamp set. And this is orange cream, so you can see how easy this is. Once you've popped your flowers down in position, it's so much easier just to pop in those centers with the orange color then. And now I'm going to remove the mask, and this is so satisfying to peel this away and see that beautiful floral elephant just popping into life behind the masking paper. As you can see, I do rip it around about here, so I won't be able to use my mask again, but you guys will be if you peel it away nice and gently. I'm then going to add in the detail layer to the elephant. This comes on the Baby Zoo stamp set. I'm just popping it into position onto where I want it to be, closing the lid on my Misty even, inking it up with some permanent black ink and just stamping it down. I did get a little bit of ink on the bridge of the stamp. I tried to wipe that away, but it didn't really matter anyway. I've now added my sentiment onto my block, so I've used the Hello from Mini Hello, even though it's not that mini, and I've used Sweet Little One from the Baby Zoo stamp set, and again I've stamped this in permanent black ink. And there is the card complete. I know it's simple, but it's cute and it's effective, and I love that you can stamp onto images this way. So I really do hope that you give the negative masking technique a try so you can stamp in the inside of your stamped images. And I can't wait to see what you make with it. If you would like to watch any more videos, we have a couple here for you to peruse at your leisure. If you don't want to miss out on any videos that we do upload to the channel, we would love it if you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we really do hope that you have a great weekend. Goodbye.